Okay, we're looking at a 1990 Chinook 18 plus. We're going to just do a little walk around in case anybody wants to buy it, and also a reference for anybody who's looking into Chinooks later on. I've opened a couple of the compartments just so I won't look like such a buffoon. But let me tell you about some of the features. On the Chinook, we have a roll-out awning, which is very nice. You put the crank in there, you turn it around, the feet come down. It's very simple. This thing, I couldn't figure out what that was, but it is in fact the over the oven vent, and it pops open when you turn the vent on. Here we have the back of the refrigerator, which is of course three-way. You got the 120, you got the battery, and you got gas. Okay, down in this compartment here, originally there was a generator. Previous owner removed the generator and put in some storage space, which is the one thing that is in super short supply in a Chinook 18 plus. So we love having that extra storage space and are not at all interested in a generator. So here we've got dually suspension, E350. I guess that's a 1-ton truck, and brand new Westlake radial tires. There's a couple of interesting features. You've got the inflation nipple for the airbag suspension, which of course gives you a nice ride, but also gives you the opportunity to level out the coach depending on your load. Here we've got the liquid propane and just your regular hookup. It also has a valve, which is almost impossible to read, but it does get the job done. What else? The distinctive characteristic of the trapezoidal window, parallelogram. Underneath the dinette, which is on this side, you have a furnace, and that is the chimney, intake and outgassing for the chimney. Like I said, Econoline 350. That's a magnet for the car cover. We'll just take that off of there. Okay, so we've got the hood open, and we're going to take a look from passenger side to driver side. Some of the features under here that you can see. We have a brand new coach battery. This starts the truck, obviously. We have an engine block heater, just in case you go anywhere outside of Southern California. You need that. This is the air intake for a fuel-injected 460 Ford motor. I have to say, okay, so over here is the other battery, the coach battery, sorry, the RV battery that is for deep cycle usage of the interior appliances and so forth. There's two more of these in the back that I will show you in a minute. There is a battery isolator that allows you to put this thing into storage mode such that the battery doesn't trickle drain and wind up dead when you come back a few weeks later. The air conditioning works great. It is the new variety, so if you ever have to recharge it, you don't have to replace it, you just recharge it. All the other parts are pretty much as you would expect. Sorry, nothing to say there. You get full-sized truck mirrors for towing. I've taken the side off of the hot water heater. Hot water heater is just a gas burner. Blows into a tube that is inside of a 5-gallon water tank. Heats up and does very nicely. Out here we have our cable and telephone connectors, just in case you're curious what's under those. Could probably be replaced with a 120 outlet. Then we have storage, not a whole lot of storage, but good for your wheel chocks and your windshield cover, some hoses, maybe some jumper cables in case your neighbors need to get a good jump. We've got our fill for the water tank and the city water connection. Behind that we've got fuel filler door. We've got shore power here underneath a Lovely little hatch. And then down below at the bottom, you've got your black and gray water come to the same connector, which is very convenient. And there are two different valves, which is also convenient, so that you can only open one at a time, which is very, very useful if you need to dump your gray water, for instance, while boondocking. So we're going to take a little pause. Okay, that compartment's easy to get into, but not with one hand. So I've dropped the spare tire. Just pull up on a lever and it drops on down. And then here's two 6-volt deep cycle golf cart batteries. They do a great job of keeping the electrical appliances going. Oh, we also have a professionally installed 200-watt solar system that comes down here to this charge controller. Oops, I guess I'm showing you my pin so that you can log in. The charge controller can be controlled by a mobile application on your phone. Let's step inside and take a look. Okay, here's the regular RV door. We have replaced this screen. Actually, no, we didn't replace this one. This was in good shape. We just reconditioned it. Got it nice and clean. So inside of most Chinooks is brown, brown, brown. And that's what we've done with this one, is we have turned it to a much lighter color. These switches operate the outdoor patio light and the glowing door handle. Essential part of camping, any good camping trip. So let's get inside here and get some lights turned on. Firstly, I'd like to show you the disco style roof lights, most of which are still intact and working. And one on each side. Very nice, huh? These lights here on the inside of the camper are, of course, replacements. They are dimmable. We just didn't like the cold light that's put off by the originals. And up top we have what doesn't have a label on it, but I presume it's a fantastic fan. It goes both directions, inside and outside. So we generally always use it on exhaust. It's a great way to collect any bugs that get into your camper as well. So this used to be the location of the television set, but that's been removed, and previous owner has put in this nice Jensen CD player. Sounds great with the 6 or so speakers that are located around the interior of the camper. Probably moving the camera too much, but excuse me on that one. We've gone and replaced all the upholstery, and in fact this tabletop, the previous tabletop was too big and clunky, and it didn't do this. Instant bed. Okay, show you how easy it is to convert the whole camper from daytime use to nighttime use. What did that take? About a minute, and we are done. So I'm not sure how this is intended to be used, but it is a little bit bigger than a king-size bed, and we've slept in most directions. I think the favorite direction is back and forth, but you could also sleep sideways. In fact, we are a couple and a medium-sized child, and we find this to be just big enough. See, what else is there to talk about inside? We have all the controls. Might be a little challenging. Put some light on the subject here. We have all the control panels here, integrated with the vent hood, and so you can see that we don't have much water in here, and we don't have much in the tanks either. The water pump, you can hear it gurgling. That's because I don't have any water. Hood light works just fine. And this is the vent fan. So the switch also operates and pulls the door. Up above the stove is the microwave normally, but we don't use a microwave when camping, and therefore we now have a extra piece of storage, which we believe is key to the Chinook. There's the stove. We've got a little pad so things don't rattle when we're driving down the road. Oven works just great. Let's get a little light on the fridge area. So the fridge itself is a three-way fridge. Got a nice 1980s design to it. These things apparently somehow or another like to break off a lot, so I've repaired those. Inside, nice clean freezer, double level. Oh, pardon me for the phone drop. And then we've got these nice color accented shelves and egg boxes, etc. down below. Most of your kitchen storage happens up here on this guy. We've got some good under counter space. Hot water heater is this light and switch right there. We've put some 5-volt USB charging stations both there and up here. We've got a rather spiffy one that not only charges USB and old style cigarette lighter, but it also tells us what our voltage is. And looks like our voltage is a little low, but that's probably just because we are running just about everything in the house here. I don't know what else to say. This is where we keep all of our bedding, and therefore we've taken the door off. Normally it has a door that comes down and makes it very difficult to get in and out of. So we just put our pillows and comforters and such up there, and we hit the road. So a few things I didn't mention on the inside. In this particular unit, we thought the carpet color was a little bit drab. Maybe it's a bit dirty, but the wife decided that it would be nice to just get this runner, and we installed it and basically just found some unobtrusive spots to screw it to the plywood floor, and it can be removed easily enough. And the other thing we didn't do is go to the bathroom. One of the nicer parts of the Chinook, for such a small camper, they've dedicated quite a bit of space to their bathroom, and that is the integrated fan and light. And it, oops, I got the wrong way. I certainly did. Crank it up. Fan works fine, but it is a wet bath, as you can see. The sink is large but out of the way. Really like that. And the original porcelain toilet still in there. Okay, so now we're gonna move up front here and take a look at the driving experience to some extent. Very comfortable, luxurious chairs. RV chairs, not regular van chairs. The passenger seat swivels, and the driver's seat is a 6-way power seat, and has pretty much full range of motion for a van, unlike a lot of vans in your Class B campers where you'll go right back against the bathroom or the kitchen and you can't recline or anything. So I have talked about this over here. This is the battery isolator. It is presently on. If you go camping and come back and you want to store it, that none of your appliances get left on and drain your battery, causing problems with your battery, you just click and everything goes dark. That has disconnected the battery from the coach. We get some of our lights back. Well, we got all of our lights back. That's great. So this truck hasn't been started in a couple of weeks. One of the things I always want to make sure when I go buy a car is that the guy didn't warm it up ahead of time. But here we go. Pretty much first time every time. There's a couple of things we didn't talk about, like what's under these seats. And for one thing, under the seat you will find the furnace and maybe a couple of COVID masks. But the furnace operates from this thermostat. Click it. Wait a moment. It's thinking about it. You hear it cranks on. And your air comes out underneath the dinette and over here. That's pretty much it for the furnace. Under the other chair, we have storage. Lots of storage for more pillows, bedding, dice. Okay, so I've reviewed a few of these videos, and the furnace is not as loud as it seems in the video. Somehow or another, it's some artifact of my phone. It's actually quite quiet and livable. So let's just take a little look underneath the gaucho and see what's over here on this side. The little pole that runs the awning usually lives under here, but that's about it for storage for the most part. Down at the back we've got the water pump, which is a very strong water pump for Class B RV. Normally they just trickle, but this really flows probably faster than my house. Then we've got a very good size freshwater tank, and then a hot water heater is down here at this end. We're back taking a look at the 1990 Chinook 18 Plus. We're going to take a quick run around the various appliances and show them working. The first one we'll start with is the hot water heater, which simply you touch that switch down there and it turns on. A couple of notes on the hot water heater is you should definitely make sure that your propane is turned on and actually running, and also that your water pump is turned on and you've had the opportunity to run your hot water to fill up the hot water heater tank. Otherwise you might have some frustration getting that to start. Now earlier today I was testing and we broke the knob here, so we're just going to go as soon as Camping World opens and get one of those for $7. But whether or not we're going to be able to see any steam coming off of that, I can see it here. It's not showing up on the video, but it's quite warm. Go ahead and turn that off. Okay, what else is there to take a look at? Let's take a look at the air conditioner. We are plugged into shore power. Air conditioners and RVs only work on shore power or your generator. So it's got a fan speed. We'll turn it up. It's really starting to go now. Now we'll turn it on to cool. You'll hear it buckle down and the compressor turn on. Not too much noise. Leave your dog out in the desert on a hot day. She'll really appreciate that. Let's take a quick peek at the stove here. Oh, come on. Let's try this one over here. There we go. With our little piezo spark. The oven works very similarly. Takes a little bit to get the oven going in terms of waiting for the thermocoupler to get started. Now the fridge presently on AC. That's really where it works the best, on AC. I just turned it on a few minutes ago, so it's still warm if you take a look, but I can already feel it starting to cool down, particularly on the floor of the freezer. Let's take one more look inside the bathroom. I'm going to show you just how well. Burn up some more of that hot water. Okay, here's our shower wand. Let's see if we can do this without making too much of a mess. When we turn on our shower, we just pull up on that, and that, for Class B RV, is a very healthy shower. Toilet works similarly. Fill her up with water, do your business, empty the bowl.